So our next speaker is Deb Peretz. Deb Peretz, her speech is titled, "The Hiring Process is Broken. Let's Hire Someone to Fix It." The hiring process is broken. Let's hire someone to fix it. Deb Peretz.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I want to talk to you today about the joy and pleasure of looking for a job. All right, maybe not joy and pleasure. How about I want to talk to you about the inspiring and rewarding challenge of finding a job. No? Not good? All right, it's not really inspiring or rewarding, is it? I probably should have spent more time on this opening. Okay, I got it. The ups and downs of the job hunt. Yeah, that's a little better, a little truer, right? Oh, who am I kidding? It's hell looking for a job, isn't it? It's humiliating. The screening process, selling yourself to the highest bidder, being rejected by someone half your age. Yeah, all right. I got this. Let me try one more time. Hi, I want to talk to you about the frustrating absurdity that is the job hunt. The hiring process is broken. Some of you might be thinking right now, what's she on about? I always had good experiences looking for a job. Well, goody for you. I'm thinking the rest of you agree with me, at least just a little. When I was in higher ed, we had to hire an instructional designer for an online learning project. I was the chair of the hiring committee. We placed an ad and the resumes started pouring in. And I mean pouring in. There were so many I could have wallpapered my entire apartment with them. How on earth was I supposed to narrow it down to just 4 people to bring in for an interview? There were almost 100 resumes. Our first tactic was to look for a reason to rule them out in order to narrow down the choices. It wasn't easy to find reasons to disqualify them. I mean, it's not like they put Yankees fan on the resume, you know? But even after we weeded out some, we were still left with way too many resumes. There was a large number of applicants with the experience and qualifications we were looking for. And the truth was, they were all pretty much the same. There was nothing in those resumes to help me distinguish one from the other, no less pick the right person for the job. Somehow we whittled it down to 4 to invite in for the interview. I'm sure random chance played a role in choosing those 4. But they all seemed like solid contenders on paper. And then we met them. One woman, it turned out, misrepresented the extent of her experience. Another, my top choice actually, had extensive experience doing exactly what we needed. But then in the interview, it quickly became clear that his approach to curriculum was right out of the dark ages. I mean, he did not have the chops to do the quality courses that we were looking for. And again, I thought, why did we have to bring him all the way from Texas to find out that he didn't know anything about how adults learn or how to create materials that would result in learning? There has to be something in between the resume and the interview that employers could use to make better use of their time and the candidate's time. I mean, what is a resume really? They pretty much say the same thing, right? Something was missing. Now, the example I just gave from my experience, well, that was for applicants who already had work experience. Then they could get their foot in the door in the first place. What if you're a new grad looking for your first real job? What's the hiring process like for them? I happen to know this well because my kids have gone through it, are still going through it. New grads have the same problem that my instructional designers had. They're competing with hundreds of applicants that all look the same, except that it's harder for them because they don't have the work experience that older job seekers have. So their resumes are even emptier and even less helpful in the job screening. For Gen Z and all the new grads out there, your resume tells about your inexperienced past, but doesn't say anything about your potential for success in the role you're applying for. Your resume doesn't give you a chance to show the real you. One of my favorite TV shows is The Nanny. You know, the one where Fran Drescher plays a traveling makeup saleswoman who accidentally walks into an interview for a nanny position. She had no resume, no experience with children, but was hired anyway. And she turned out to be exactly what they needed. Why? Because while she may have lacked the hard skills, the experience for the job, training for the job, she had the soft skills necessary to succeed. She knew how to talk to kids so that they would listen. She knew how to let them know that she cared. She knew how to help them become their best selves. Now, that show may be fiction, but the truth is we all have soft skills that can help us succeed at a job. But unfortunately, there's no place to put it on a traditional resume. Now, what if your resume gave hiring managers a glimpse of the real you? They say, if you notice something wrong, instead of complaining about it, do something. So I did. My brother and I created the WOW resume. Actually, it was my brother's idea. He's been in the staffing and recruiting business for decades, and he knows better than most that the hiring process is indeed broken. So he set out to create the kind of resume he wishes that he had access to when he was hiring and recruiting. A resume that showcases your potential by highlighting your soft skills. Research shows that it's the soft skills that distinguish among those who succeed in the workplace and those that don't. And yet the hiring process doesn't allow employers to assess those skills until now. So if you or someone you know is looking for a job, especially if they're a new grad, try sending the manager a link to your free WOW resume so they can get to know the real you. Create yours for free at TheRealMe.io. And if you're hiring someone for a job and you want the best person for the role, ask them for the link to their free WOW resume. It'll not only save you time, it can save you money from hiring the wrong person based on a traditional resume. I'll conclude with a joke courtesy of ChatGPT. How do young job seekers stay in shape? By constantly running after job opportunities. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.